Test. 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 I think we're live. So I have no plan for this stream whatsoever. I just thought I'd pull up some Facebook. I was going to scroll because I might use this as an opportunity to like catch up on stuff that I've missed during the day when I've been busy. So I thought I could just have a little scroll like I normally would, just sat on the sofa, scroll through my feed. Rather than doing it on my feed, I could just do it on here instead. I don't know, we'll see what happens. You are indeed. Am I live? Can you hear me? Is everything clear? Sounding good, looking good? I've not been live on YouTube before, I don't think. You have to let me know. How do I get rid of that message? Welcome to YouTube Live. I get it, I understand. That's going to get in the way. Oh, nice. Curbside, how you doing, man? What are you up to? Hi, Joe. How's it going? Welcome, everyone. Looking smashing. Great. Can you hear that music? Is it too loud or is it too quiet? Or Gavin, how's it going? What's up? The other thing I wanted to know by doing this live stream, I've never had a YouTube channel that's had this many subscribers, and so I thought, what if I go live? Will people watch? I don't know how, like, what the threshold of subscribers is to draw attention to like a live stream. Like, I don't know. All good, brother. Thanks, man. Thanks for everyone popping in. Because I used to stream on Twitch a little bit, just doing video game stuff, and I could be sat there for hours and I'd have no one watching me. And it's weird because you just got to sit there and talk to yourself. But I've just had an email. No, it's not an email, it's a Facebook message. They always get you. They always come in looking like they're a real person, or they're actually taking interest in what you're doing. So, hey Jake, I stumbled across your TikTok earlier and I love the video title. And that they've just got to get that bit in to pretend they've watched the video. And it's just like an algorithmic thing where they've taken a popular video, grabbed the title of it, and then it goes straight into a message. Roxy, what's going on? You right? And it says, lovely video on TikTok, getting straight to it. My team and I have taken a look at Smelt's pressure washing, and we're very confident we can help you generate more leads using Facebook ads. I'd love to walk you through it sometime. Would you be down for a quick video call over the next few days? The amount of messages I get like this is insane now. Now that I've got a couple of videos on TikTok, it's crazy how many people are trying to sell me leads. You did the biggest poo-poo ever? Yeah. Wow.
I will say where's yours.
You can't. You're supposed to be in bed. Can I have a kiss? You can't shut mommy out. I've gone live now because she's supposed to be in bed, and now she's here.
Sorry, mommy.
Sorry, you can't come in. Do you want to come say hi real quick, and then you go to bed?
Yeah. Who's this?
Who is it?
Yeah.
Lots of people. You say, hey everyone.
No.
No? Okay, I love you. Oh God, you're supposed to stand up. Love you. See you in the morning. Bye. Shut the door, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
No. Mama.
You can have it in the morning.
No, what's this?
We're treading a thin line with her at the minute, because you say the wrong thing to her and she has an absolute meltdown and starts screaming the house down. So you've got to It's like treading on eggshells.
You can do it in the morning, okay?
The Clean Heroes. What's going on? You're right. I get 4 of those messages a week, really.
Good girl. Then put him on the side there.
I can't see the whole chat. I need to like extend it a little bit. Oh, that's better. Oh, you got one today. My little girl says the same thing. It's weird. You've got to like. She's in this really weird reactive mode at the moment where if you say something she doesn't agree with, she immediately like explodes. It's like living with a little Tasmanian devil or something. What's Pure Seal been up to? Smelly gel, this test patch by one of our customers. Huge difference. What is that? That looks like paint though. Oh, I can't really zoom on here, can I? Is that paint? I thought smelly gel was for like rust and stuff. I bought some new stuff from Pure Seal the other day that I've been meaning to try for a while. It's the Synergy Pro, and it's for like cladding and fascia cleaning and all that sort of stuff. And it's like a almost like a degreaser, like a I think it resembles the cheap stuff that I have got once or twice from Screwfix. It's like a degreaser, no nonsense degreaser, but this is like a proper scented, foamy, good version of that. And so I'm going to start using it on faces and gutters and see how it does, like all this sort of grubby stuff. I want to be able to see like a wider image of that. Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. My missus still does that. Oh god. TFR. It's not TFR. It's used for like industrial degreasing. I think TFR is slightly different. TFR's traffic film remover. I suppose TFR has like degreasing properties, but this is more of a I don't really know. Let's have a look. Pure Seal. Synergy. Most likely you heard this question a lot as well, but would be awesome if any could answer. Got my first batch of hypo today. This weekend I'm going to do my friend's garden. Stone patio, 4:1 ratio. A good mix. Gonna brush it in from a bucket with a broom. That's perfect, mate, yeah. Try and get some sort of surfactant in there. Because if you're just using hypo and water, you're gonna a lot of the mix is gonna drain like into the joints and stuff. It's not gonna sit on the face of the stone or of the bricks or of the slabs. It's gonna kind of wash away, just like if you were to spray water on there. It's not gonna dwell. So you need some sort of surfactant and mix it up and get it a bit foamy. Some people use washing up liquid, but you've got to be careful of what type of washing up liquid is, because it can. There's one where you can make like a chlorine. What's that thing they used to? Soph, what's that thing that you dip on a rag and you put over someone's face and it knocks them out? It's like chlorine gas or something. There's a certain type of washing up liquid that if you it's got something in it. Washing up liquid. Are you alright? Liquid with.
Do you need something?
No, I was just wondering why you came in.
What are you here for?
Chloroform. That might not be what I'm thinking of though. Is it legal to add washing up liquid? Thick gel-like substance at the bottom of the barrel. There's a specific type of washing up liquid. There's two types, and if the washing up liquid contains something, it can turn the hypo into something that's like deadly. I don't know. Ether. I don't know. Bleach and soap don't mix. Oh god, I'm like downloading. Release toxic gases, irritates your eyes. Okay, that's something different. Yeah, they say specifically fairy liquid. Chloroform. They say specifically fairy liquid is okay. Like ideally you'd buy a surfactant, and the one I get obviously is from Pure Seal. It's the Surf Boost from Pure Seal, this one. I've literally just taken delivery of some of this yesterday as well. And you only need like a very small amount of this stuff. I think you can have like a 25 litre barrel of hypo, and you can put 500 litres of this in, like half a litre of this, and it'll be like, and you shake it up, and it'll be ideal, that will. And you can just add a bit more if you want it a bit more soapy. And this has got like surfactant, so it foams up. It's got the scent mask, so it doesn't smell like bleach. It kind of does. Wetting agent, which to be honest I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool. Probably not a good idea to breathe in hypo with or without surfactant. Yeah, so what I was going to say was you want to get something that's going to foam it up enough to allow it to dwell on the surface rather than just running straight off between the joints. Mixing your own chemicals is technically illegal. Is this in America? Yes, fairy is fine in bleach. Yeah, I think fairy liquid would be the one to get. How long do you leave pets and children away after using hypo? So my rule of thumb is apply it, leave it to dwell for around 40 minutes, rinse it off, and it becomes dormant after it's been mixed with water. It becomes and it's been applied. I don't know whether you could mix it with water and leave it in the barrel, but after you mix it with water and then apply it, it becomes dormant after like an hour anyway. And so even if you were to leave it down, if you give it a couple of hours, in theory I would have thought that people and pets can walk on it after that. But rule of thumb is rinse it down after 40 minutes, and then I'll tell them leave the pets off it for an hour. It's weird with biocide because biocide sort of reactivates every time it rains, and so if you're using biocide on like kids climbing frames and stuff and it's wet, like I don't know what the result would be there, but I don't think it would be a good thing. I'm based in the Netherlands. I'm gonna see if they deliver overseas. Yeah, it's worth an ask. Try fairy liquid first and see what you think. Especially if it's coming out of a watering can as well. You don't have a lot of control with a watering can. I use it from the Gardener backpack. I fill the Gardener backpack. They actually do a sprayer, and not Rutland pumps. AC pressure washers. They do like a chemical. They do a chemical gun. Chemical lance? Yeah, this thing. Can you see that? And you can like plug that into your gardener backpack, and it's got like no brass fittings or anything. It's got no metal in there, so it's not gonna go all rusty and oxidized by using bleach through it. So that's worth doing. But I just put I do mine through a brush, through like a water fed brush and a gardener backpack. What was I looking at? Yeah, so the Surf Boost Hypo Stable Easy Rinse blend of wetting agents, stabilizers formulated to enhance foam generation. What was I going to show you? The Synergy. I'm going to be using this thing in a couple of Saturdays. I've got an oil stain removal job across from my mum's house. He got in touch with my mum and said, I've just had my car serviced by Toyota. I've come home and it's leaked oil all over the drive. He's paid like 340 quid for a service. Soph paid 190 the other day, and I thought that was well expensive. 340 quid for a service, man. And so he's come home, leaked oil all over the drive. The chap from the garage has been out and tried to clean it, and it hasn't really worked. And so now he's got a sort of clean patch and an oil stain on a dirty drive, and so it just looks a mess. And they've actually said, because he's complained to the managers and stuff, they've actually said that they're gonna pay for the whole drive to be cleaned. And he just needed 3 quotes, and they've sort of given the job to me. And they called me today and said, we're just going to send you the money direct. It's a fairly hefty quote as well. I'd say it's like a 4-car drive with a couple of oil stains. And I'm not totally confident the oil's going to come out, to be honest, because it's always a bit tricky. But they just said, yeah, we'll get the money sent across to you today. We'll deal with you direct. And then once you've got the money, you can organise with the customer when you're going to do it. I think I've got to do it on a Saturday. You paid 500 quid for a service on a car, on like a normal car. That's hefty, that is. Because if you consider, like on a normal car, you've got an oil filter, air filter, probably like 4 litres of oil. Not 4 litres. How much oil do you... How much oil do you normally put in a car? So in parts, you're probably looking at less than 100 quid. And then labour, how long does it take to change the oil on a car? I reckon it'd take, if I had like a workshop and whatever, and a lift, God, a lift makes such a difference. I reckon I could service a car in a good less than an hour, probably. What's an hour's labour these days? About 80 quid. It was 85 quid at the Auto Electrics place that I went to the other day. About 185 quid, yeah. So I've paid 190, so that's about right, really, isn't it? I had that exact same situation with a guy at the end of my road. Oil did not come out at all. I used the Resi Block oil remover. So the stuff I normally use is just cheap Screwfix. No nonsense. Hashbar nonsense. I'm terrible at spelling. Heavy duty degreaser. So this is what I'd normally use. And it's decent. it foams up nicely. Couple of three applications maybe, and most of the oil will be gone. I don't know if this is a similar product. I think it neutralizes oil. Synergy Clean Pro. I think heavy duty cleaner. It doesn't really tell you what it is. Is it a degreaser, sequestrants, and actin surfactants formulated to work stronger together? You can use it in various dilutions. I've heard people put a bit of hypo in it as well sometimes. In your latest video, you soaped quite a big area. Are you considering using a downstream or XJet in the future, or keep using your current setup? So that was a biocide in the latest video, and that did take a long time, and I would have liked an XJet. The only thing I'm conscious of with an XJet is drift. I like how versatile the backpack is, because I can sort of take it around with me. It's just a battery pack with a pump, but the XJet needs to be connected to the pressure washer, and I've got a 50-meter hose from the pressure washer, so the area that I'm using the XJet in is limited to 50 meters, which if I'm cleaning the area, I'll be within 50 meters anyway, because it's my machine is van mounted. The main concern with the XJet is drift. I've seen that people don't use the XJet with biocide on roof cleaning because there's so much drift, and biocide is very bubbly, so if you use it out of an XJet, it's sort of just gonna fly everywhere. And if you haven't got a mask and some goggles on, a bit of wind and it'll all come back in your faces. Whereas I think hypo, it sort of falls down rather than sort of floats about. Will oil stains go naturally with time? No, they don't. I think the way you're supposed to clean oil, I've not had many oil stain removal jobs, to be fair. I've had probably 5 or 6. I think the way you're supposed to do it is to neutralize the oil first, and then use a specific oil stain remover. So this Synergy will probably neutralize the oil, and then you're supposed to use Oil Clear Pro. Removes oil stains without leaving any residue. Non-caustic. Because depending on the porosity of the bricks and the blocks and stuff, it gets absorbed really far down into the blocks, and it depends on the type of block. And also, when you're doing oil stain removal as well, you've also got to consider that it's most of the oil is in between the joints, and so you think you're just cleaning the surface of the blocks, but actually when you start pressure washing it, all the oil starts spurting out from between the joints and stuff that's been sat there for ages. Doesn't tend to go away, absorbs into the sand between the joints. And the other thing you got to consider with the oil stain removal is that wherever you're washing down to, so the path that the water is gonna drain down, that will have all that oil residue in it, and so if it's not neutralized, it's gonna stick to the surfaces that it runs over. So if it's not going directly into the drain, if it's going down some tarmac path or whatever, there's a chance you're gonna get oil on that tarmac path as well. So you got to be really careful about the direction, because you could end up spreading that oil stain further around the drive. It's really tricky. And the most important thing is to set the customer's expectations and just say, look, chances of me getting rid of this completely are probably pretty slim. Depends how long it's been down, what type of oil is, how porous the bricks are. There's so many factors. And if you haven't got heat as well, if you haven't got a boiler, steam on the pressure washer, it's gonna be less effective. You need a good oil stain remover, good degreaser, and ideally heat. Would a sealant make a difference if having remove an oil? Yes. So if you sealed the driveway first, and then your car leaks oil all over the driveway, yeah. Most sealants prevent oil stains sticking to the bricks, and it prevents like the weathering of the blocks and stuff like that, so creates a nice barrier. Is hot water more effective for oil? Yes, so I've heard, although I've not got any experience with hot water. I'd like to have a go at a steam pressure washer. I think it looks really impressive, doesn't it? When you see the YouTube videos and stuff of all the street cleaning, when they're doing like chewing gum removal. God, my bloody camera keeps turning off. Bear with. Live view. Window capture. I think my camera's overheating. Yeah, that one. Is this music too loud, or is it okay? I'd like to get the van pack that Pure Seal were gonna send me one at one point, but we sort of stopped. We haven't been communicating as much as we were before Christmas. But this van pack, they've got like a bit of everything in there. Graffiti, Enviro Acid, so that would be like a brick acid, I suppose. Smelly Gel would be like a rust or a stain remover. Max Clean Pro is like natural stone cleaner, and it's got like a, I think it's got like a small amount of biocide in there, so it keeps working over time even once it's been rinsed off. Synergy Clean is like a degreaser slash TFR style product. Concrete and Grout Remover. I guess the Concrete and Grout Remover is similar to the Enviro Acid, where it's like a brick acid, but I'm not sure what the Enviro Acid does. I wonder if it's like a brick acid without the acid. I'm not sure. So I ordered the Synergy Clean. I've got 25 litres of that because I was gonna just buy TFR. I got a normal TFR from like a automotive place for doing gutters, washing soffits and all that sort of stuff, and it was great, nice and foamy, really did the trick really well. And then I thought, oh, is this a caustic TFR? Because you're supposed to use non-caustic TFR. Guess who's with me? Has Maya come downstairs? I didn't hear her open the door. Who's with you? You're supposed to use non-caustic TFR, else it can stain like certain metals and plastics and stuff if you leave it on too long. And then I bought some more non-caustic TFR, and it weren't as good. I've still got some in the garden, big 25 litre barrel of it. And I just noticed it weren't foaming up as nicely. It weren't as effective at like removing stuff. And the caustic TFR that I bought left things nice and shiny once I rinsed everything down. Made it look like I was using pure water, but I wasn't. She wanted to chill with me. may I chill with you? I'm going to come down and get another beer in a minute, Soph. Oh, I might have my chocolate lolly. Sophie's been to Cadbury World today with Maya. Brought me back a nice chocky lolly. Fairy is not stable once mixed with hypo, as it then produces chlorine gas. Here we go. This is what I was talking about. You need to use a stable surfactant like Clever Wash. It does boost hypo, unlike Fairy. So there's some differing information here, because lots of people are recommending Fairy specifically. I'm sure it doesn't produce chlorine gas. It might not be the most suitable surfactant, but it's not an acid and won't create chlorine gas. That's it. If you're also mixing acid with bleach, it can make some dodgy stuff. Mustard gas, that's it. Yeah, that's the same as chlorine gas, isn't it? Oh, you're in bed. I try and cuddle Maya at night sometimes. She's 2, she's almost 3, and I'll try and cuddle her and say goodnight. I'll just put my head on her belly for a bit, and she'll push my head away after like 2.5 seconds and say, that's enough. You go out now. It's like, okay, you're the boss. So when you come across sort of gutters and stuff that look like this, you want like a good soapy TFR, or hopefully this Synergy Clean Pro is going to do me good. I've heard really good stuff about it. Pure Seal were very excited when they came out with this product, and there's a couple of reviews on their website saying it's like their new go-to product, so we'll see. I'm looking forward to using it. What else we got? My whole feed is just Pure Seal. They got a newsletter. This is their new branding, which is pretty sick, really. That does look cool. I'm a fan of their new art that's going on the front of all their bottles and stuff. I had a message from a company in Bromsgrove the other day, which is like the next town over from us. Now, they didn't message me. I messaged them to see if they could do a job, because the lady wanted it doing soon, and I'm fairly booked up. And so I said, would you guys be able to take this job on? It's over in Rubery. And it's H2O restoration, and they're a pretty big Bromsgrove based business, I think. And they've invited me to pop down to their shop to meet everyone. I think I've been sort of following their stories and stuff, and I think there's a chance they've probably been seeing my Facebook page every now and again pop up. So just based on the fact that we're a town over from each other, I think we're gonna organise to meet up at some point. Partridge, he's always grinding, isn't he? Nice tarmac job. That looks like limestone at the back, which is very tricky to clean. Yeah, it's definitely limestone, because it's all like orange peely effect. I wish I could make this bigger. That's not bigger. That's rubbish. Oh, that's kind of better. I don't know if you can see this bottom corner here. Can you see that? It's like orange peeled, and that's how you can tell that it's limestone. And you've got to be very careful with this stuff, because it can etch. If you put slightly too much pressure on this, it'll etch like sort of freshly laid concrete if you try and... That was another thing I learnt from being on one of the American pages on Facebook. If you pressure wash concrete driveways and paths and stuff that have been laid for less than 2 years, you'll etch them and you'll ruin them. And obviously customers don't know that, so they have their nice new drive laid, and then a couple of years later it gets a bit mucky, so they employ someone to come and pressure wash it for them. Little do they know, it's going to absolutely ruin the drive. I didn't know that, but it happened the other day on the page, and they were all just basically saying, I hope you've got insurance because you've wrecked it. How devastated would you be? In the Netherlands, the internet is filled with content emphasising the negative impact of pressure washing on stones, leading to a prevalence of exclusive soft wash businesses for patios and driveways. Are there companies in the UK that solely specialise in soft washing methods for patios and driveways as well? I find it kind of odd, since I find the pressure wash patios have better results than only soft washing. So I do a mix of both. I use pressure first to get rid of all the surface grime, and then I use chemicals afterwards. I don't think I could get the results that I'm getting now just by soft washing. I don't, unless you're using insanely strong chemical dilutions. The trouble is with patios and stuff in the UK, you've got a patio, grass, and then plants everywhere, and pots and shrubs and whatever. And so there's always going to be runoff, and you're always going to, if you're using high dilutions of chemicals, you're always going to end up killing plants and killing grass. And you can say that it's not like, you know, the impact of pressure washing stone and stuff. You could say there's a negative impact, which there is. It's the same as having heavy rainfall for months and months on one area of stone. You can see it on bricks. If you hold two bricks together, one has been next to your front door under the shelter, and one's been at the end of the drive exposed to all the elements. You put them together, and on the one brick you'll see all the exposed aggregate, and on the other brick it will look brand new. And it's the same when you're pressure washing it. You're just gradually stripping layers of either clay or cement or whatever from the brick or the natural stone. I don't know if it's the same with natural stone, I'm not sure, but I don't know whether that's, I think that's better than using extremely harsh chemicals and then having them run off into all the soil around the area and stuff. I don't know. What do you think? The clean heroes, what's your take on it? What would you prefer, better results and using pressure and a mix of low dilution chemicals, or high dilution ratios, no pressure, and you could argue that it's a better method for the stone? You're not stripping the stone away. I don't know. I've just done a roof like this. This is the next video coming out on Monday. Kind of wish I'd have pressure washed it now, to be honest, because we ended up scraping it and it was soul destroying. Greenway soft washing. I follow this guy. I want to know what these nozzles are. They don't look like the ones I use. 150 degree low pressure steam. I want to have a go at steam. I want to know if steam's all it's lived up to be. Because if you're in the market for a steam pressure washer, it's a good, like, it's got to be like over 4 grand's worth of equipment. And to spend 4 grand upgrading your equipment just to make the water hot, is it worth it? I'd love to have a go. And it's so impressive when you see all the steam everywhere. I visited 2 companies that use soft wash only, but the results are just not the same. But when I say I want to pre-work the area with a pressure washer, they go all climate monkey on me since I use petrol. Yeah, but they're promoting. That sounds like a weird sales pitch though. If they're promoting the use of strong chemicals to clean an area, they can't then say you're affecting the climate by using a petrol pressure washer. That seems very counterintuitive. Seems very hypocritical to bring the climate into it. The effects of any of those soft washing chemicals on the soil, on the surrounding area, and the wildlife, like every time I use hypo on an area, the worms are coming to the surface because they're all dying. The worms are freaking out, thinking, what have you just poured all over my house? And all the spiders come out of the woodwork and stuff because I've poisoned them. It's horrible. I don't like killing bugs and stuff. So they're going to tell you that the effect on the environment from you using a petrol pressure washer is worse than that. I don't think so. That's weird to me. Some of these soft wash training courses and stuff, they're just trying to either sell you a course or sell you their products. So you've got to be quite careful of who you're taking advice from. You gotta wonder what's in it for them at the same time. I'm enjoying answering your questions, guys, so keep them coming. It gives me something to talk about rather than just sitting here talking to myself. Thanks for everyone that's popped in so far. I didn't think anyone would be watching, so that's nice. I'm going to go and get another beer, and in the meantime, you guys keep the questions rolling in, alright? I'll let you watch a video while I'm gone. You lucky things. Right, we've got another Pilsner. We've got a refrigerated Freddo, fresh from Cadbury World. And we've got some wonky blueberries. Running out of room. How do you quote rejointing slabs and what do you charge? Good question. Welcome, Michael. What's going on? I think I covered this in one of my videos, and I reckon I was quoting around about £10 per square metre, including materials. But that wasn't including the chemical wash. So if you're using chemicals, I normally add a little bit more money. This was it. Ah, oh, wrong window. God damn it. This video here. Grey algae covered sandstone wash and repoint. So with this one,
In the loo.
this one was like fairly easy, I'd say. And I think the results were good. But you can see on this one, can you see that well enough? Is that okay? I've not used like two screens like this for a while, so you'll have to let me know. This one was fairly easy because the cracks, or the joints, were very thin, and they were like just the right size for the joints, just the right size for the grinding disc that I was using. So this one really didn't take me long. I reckon I probably spent less than 20 minutes grinding out these joints, which is really good for like a patio this size. Usually, look at the size of these joints. Look, usually the joints would be like 3-4 times wider than this, and that's when it takes like a lot longer. You'd use a thicker grinding disc. And I used to use the Sika jointing compound, but I've since switched to the Easy Joint stuff from Pure Seal after going on the course. I've not had a chance to use it yet, but I've heard good things about it from other people that have been using it for years, and it's cheaper as well. If you order it from Pure Seal, it's like £6 cheaper per tub, and you get a bigger tub. Like you get an extra 5 kilograms, and it's like nicer to use apparently. Freddo is the UK measurement of inflation. Guess what? These, I think Sophie said she got these from Cadbury World. 11, no, like, how many did she say she got? I think she got like 10 of these for £1.10. £1.10 for 10 Freddos. They haven't been that price since I used to walk to the penny shop before school in year 5. The penny shop, because that was back when you could actually get pick and mix sweets for a penny each. Michael, I hope that answers your question, mate. I watched your video for the pressure washer buffer tank. I ordered all the parts from the links you provided. They came today, and I made it just like you said. Works perfect, thank you. Ah, Mr. Moo, that makes me pleased. I'm glad you've. I'm glad it's working for you. I had some good feedback about that video. Oh, the Clean Heroes is now a circle member. He's part of my circle. You're the first one, you know. That's like so on Twitch they call them subscribers, but on YouTube they're called what are you called now? Well, you're a circle member, aren't you? Thanks, mate. Thanks for doing that. Let me figure out what that means. You're like a paid member of the channel now, aren't you? Oh, that's awesome. You got a little badge next to your name as well. That's sick. You're the first one. I forgot what they call. What are you called? What is this music? Like video game music. Memberships. Yeah, look. You're a member now. You're a channel member. And I'll be honest, I don't think I've put much effort into the whole membership side of things because I didn't expect anyone to actually click the button. So you'll have to excuse me, there's nothing really here for you. There's nothing extra apart from the cool star next to your name. Yeah. Thanks, mate. That's cool. That's wicked. I did a video a while back, and it was when I had been watching Stranger Things. You did a video, you made a YouTube video. How much does running your own pressure washing company profit weekly? I can only ever see answers from people in the USA. Yeah, that music was bad. Oh, the Clean Heroes. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you, mate. I'm trying my best. There's people seem to want to hold on to whatever knowledge they have, all the experience and stuff that they get. They want to keep it for themselves. Seems to be quite a lot of that in this industry, which I don't understand, because there's plenty of money out there for everyone to make. So I don't really understand it. Oh, you made a pressure washing video. Nice. Mitchell. I don't know how to answer that question, because I don't really want to give specifics about exactly how much I'm earning. And also, it changes month to month. They're called gatekeepers, yeah. Yeah, true. The amount that I earn varies, and I don't think my business is an accurate reflection of most new pressure washing businesses. A lot of them, to be fair. Yeah, you can link it, Michael, sure. A lot of new pressure washing businesses, people spend 2 or 3 grand on equipment. They start doing friends and family. They either realise they don't enjoy the work, or they're not instantly getting 5 or 6 phone calls a week asking for quotes, and so they get disheartened and they think, I've got 3 grand's worth of equipment just sat here, what's the next thing I can try? And so they sell up and they find something new. But this game, in my experience, is all about persistence and doing it. It evolves slowly. I don't think you should jump into it expecting that you're instantly going to start getting customers. And also, my business doesn't accurately, it's going very well, I'll say that. Over the winter, it was very hit and miss. It was a struggle over winter. All I was doing was gutters, and that's the least profitable I'd been. I barely scraped by. But now, this is like the height of the season. It's all kicking off. Everyone's asking for quotes. Word of mouth. Family and friends are recommending me. And the thing with my business is that I'm all over TikTok. I did a TikTok video about a month back, and it's on 24 million views, which is insane. It was a joke. It was like a jokey TikTok video about what I do about customers that don't pay. 24 million views, which I never imagined. But after that video, people have gone to my feed. They've been watching all my other videos, and they've been messaging me and calling me. I've seen you on TikTok, this and that. All of my videos on Facebook have got like over 2,000 views each, and so they're doing well. I post all my jobs pretty much, all my before and afters, although I haven't been doing that lately. So I reckon I'd say 50% of my work is coming from recommendations, word of mouth, friends and family, people I did last year that they want me to either do it again, or they recommend me to a friend. And I reckon the other 50% is coming from people seeing me on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. So my business isn't an accurate representation of what a normal pressure washing business would do, I think, in their first year. Because I've only been full-time for like a year, and I was doing it on the side for like probably 8-9 months before that. But I think this is the new way to market a business. Reels and shorts and TikTok videos, before and after photos on Facebook, all that sort of stuff. I think handing out leaflets. I had this discussion with my accountant the other day, and I said, handing out leaflets and advertising in the newspaper, all that sort of stuff is a thing of the past, totally not worth it. And he said, but wait, what about this area? And he was referring to like a posh area a couple of towns away that's full of old people. And he said, do you reckon you're reaching those people on Facebook or on YouTube or whatever? He said, in that situation, to drop a leaflet through one of those people's doors, they've got these massive properties with massive driveways, everyone talks to each other, and if you can get one of those clients, bloody camera, if you can get one of those clients and do a good job for them, he said, that's when let me just get this camera sorted, I'm sorry. He said that's when dropping leaflets makes sense. And I agree with him. It's got a place. But I think the new way to advertise for our generation is through social media. A lot of people do quit when it gets to winter, yes. Do you have a small window cleaning round as well? I don't. I never got into window cleaning. I bought some window cleaning equipment. I got one of those green, what are them green buckets called? From Screwfix. It's a Unga. Is it Hunger or Unga? This. I literally got this set. That is so expensive. That seems so expensive. 55 quid for a bucket and a couple of squeegees. Yeah, sorry, my camera keeps overheating. Sorry about that. I think it's overheating or it's just timing out. I'm not sure. I've still got this Unga bucket, and I washed my windows with it. Realised it's harder than it looks. You know, not to get streaks and all that. And also, I was thinking, at the height of pressure washing season, I'm not going to be able to keep up with a window cleaning round. If I'm as busy as I am now for the rest of the year, I'd never have time for window cleaning. I don't know how people do it. There's people that have got a full window cleaning round and then they offer pressure washing on the side. There's no way I'd be able to do that. I find that very impressive that you can find time to, I mean, maybe you're out the house from like 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. That seems like a lot to me. And the unpredictability of weather and stuff. Like when I'm pressure washing, I can pressure wash in any weather. If it's absolutely pouring down a rain, it makes no difference to me. I can still pressure wash. I get wet anyway. It doesn't make a difference. But when you're window cleaning, I think it's slightly different. And so to not be able to clean windows in the pouring rain, and then to wait a week, and then all them customers are backed up for like a week, I feel like I'm always trying to play catch up. That'll feel very stressful for me. Thank you for the answer. I'm really interested in starting my own pressure washing business this year around the south of Wales. Nice. Go for it. There's a very, very good video that I'm going to link. It's called Spring is the Worst Time of Year to Pressure Wash. I think it's spring is the worst time of year to set up your pressure washing business. Spring is the worst time to start your business. Right, this video. Can we like react to this video live? What do you mean sign into chat? I can't type in my own chat. I can watch a YouTube video live on YouTube, can't I? Ain't nothing wrong with that. This video is incredibly inspiring and it makes a cracking point. Have a listen to this.
In today's video, we're going to be talking about why starting your business in the spring is a terrible idea and why you should never do it. But before we get into that, I do want to show you guys something cool that I've been working on. I've been playing around with this hard close strategy with regards to running Facebook ads, and it's helped. But with that,
this guy, by the way, Forever Self-Employed, that's the name of the YouTube channel. You should definitely, if you're interested in any sort of business, starting your own business, particularly pressure washing, watch this guy. Very inspiring.
Let's go ahead and get into the video. So why is spring a bad time to start? I know what you guys are probably thinking, Justin, you're an idiot. Spring is when everything picks up, when we start landing jobs, when the phone starts ringing, when everything is going great. Well, I'm not talking about spring, the time of year. I'm not talking about February, March, April, May. I'm using spring more as a metaphor. Spring is the time when everything is convenient, when everything falls into place, when you have your equipment, when you've watched enough videos, when everything is going to go perfect. If you haven't started your business yet, you're probably waiting for spring to start. You're waiting for the right time. Therefore, right now, you're in winter. Because if you're not in spring, you're in winter. Winter's cold, winter's harsh, nothing's growing, it's hibernation time. You stay inside because that's where it's nice and warm. And your mindset's like, when I get this piece of equipment, I'll be ready. When the weather gets right, I'll be ready. When I watch a few more videos, I'll be ready.
That is literally me 3 or 4 years ago. I was waiting for something to happen before I could tell myself that I was ready to do something, ready to take the next step. It's insane how, literally, this video caught my attention. As I was listening to it, I was watching it. I was like, oh my God, that was me. About everything. Not just starting a business, about literally everything. I'm always on the fence about doing something, and then over time, gradually, I'll talk myself out of it. I'll spew all the negativity in my head about why it's going to fail, and then I just won't try it. Paul, welcome. What's going on, man? You're right.
When I quit my job, I will be ready. The problem is that it's always winter. It'll never be spring. And that's why I wanted to make this video. You literally have to make your own spring. And I'm going to tell you guys an example of how I created my own spring. And this doesn't just include people who are just starting, right? We're all in winter. We all have things that we know we need to do, but we put them off for another time. Things that would grow our business, things that could make us more money, things that if we did them and we didn't wait would probably even change our lives. If you're waiting for the stars to align and the feeling to be right and for the approval of those around you, you will never get started. You'll never do the things that are going to push the needle, the things that need to be done, the things that are going to create change in your life, right? We all have these things. I'll give you guys an example of what my winter was. I always wanted to make this YouTube channel, the YouTube channel that you're watching right now. I wanted to document the journey years before I actually did it, but I let excuses get in my way. I said, well, I don't really have a good camera. So I need to get a good camera. And then it was like, well, I don't really have the right computer for editing. And then what software am I going to use for editing? I'm not even sure how to edit videos. And what am I even going to make videos on? What am I going to talk about? Who's going to want to even listen to what I have to say? What do I really even know? And what are my friends and family going to think whenever they see me making YouTube videos, talking about things that I'm doing? That was my winner. My winner was the battle between the thing that I wanted to do, the thing that I felt a pull towards, my passion, the thing that I knew could really move the needle in my life, the thing that I looked at other people doing and they were having success and they were doing the things that I wanted to do, but I continued to let excuses, I let things get in my way. I wasn't taking action toward what I wanted to do. And so the whole time I was in winter. I was uncertain. It was a time of inaction. I wasn't taking action. I wasn't trying to get the camera.
You get the idea. So when people comment on my YouTube videos saying I'm thinking about starting up my business, or I'm going to be starting my business in the summer, or this and that, I always link this video, because it's You're always going to be waiting for the right time. It's like having a baby. There's never a right time to have a baby. So just do it. If it's something you want to do in your life, just do it. What's that? That's what's that guy? Just do it. The meme. It's a meme. Right, I've missed some messages. I'm sorry. There's an area near me that I've leafleted last year. Ended up doing 6 of the 7 houses on that street. That's insane. I put out about 200 leaflets. Me and my girlfriend, we took the dog out, and we went round actually my mum's area. It's quite a posh estate, and dropped like 200 leaflets around. I don't think they were good leaflets. That's the other thing. And I didn't get one call from that, so that put me off big time. But it might have been the time of year. I can't remember what sort of time of year I did it. It might have been the clients I was trying to get. I don't know. Could be anything. Understandable, mate. Good thing to offer to customers as an extra after pressure washing. Oh, the window cleaning, yeah. My go-to is they'll say, "Oh, you've done a great job. Thanks so much." And I'll let you know if I ever need anything else doing. And I'll say, "Oh, I do gutters as well. So if you ever need your gutters cleaning or clearing, let me know." "Oh, do you? Do you do gutters? I didn't know you did gutters." So that's pretty cool. But I think window cleaning is like a whole new body of knowledge that really has nothing to do with pressure washing. It's a whole different process. Using like pure water, different machines, different chemical, like different, I don't know. It's just different, isn't it? You need to have a really good technique when you're a window cleaner. People post up their videos of them cleaning windows. I saw one the other day. People were shredding him in the comments. I thought it looked great. Like he was doing all this, and he was wiping the edges, and he got it all down to the bottom. And then he did it again, got all the window, and the window was sparkling. And he was getting absolutely lit up in the comments. People were saying, "Do you want to wash it a third time? And do you want to? How long you been cleaning windows and all this sort of stuff?" It's like, yeah. Paul, does the surface cleaner save more time compared to the lance? Probably a daft question. It's not a daft question. Nothing's a daft question when it comes to this business. It's all the amount of research and knowledge that I've had to gain. Like I'm thinking about where I was this time last year compared to where I am now. And in just 12 months, the amount that I've learned is insane. And for people starting out and stuff, you've got to sort of make mistakes, I guess, to progress. But it's about going out of your way to ask those sort of questions, because it's not obvious. And there's so much to learn about with regards to the equipment, the chemicals, different surface types. And you're going to keep learning. Like this time next year, I'm going to be on another level of knowledge and stuff. It's just it's difficult. It's fun though, because you feel like every time you learn something, you're like, "Oh, that's going to put me one step ahead of the last guy." So that's pretty cool. The surface cleaner, I only ever pull out the surface cleaner to use on patios, natural stone, slabs, porcelain. I suppose like on this video here, like concrete, we don't get much concrete like this in the UK. But on block paving, there's no point in me even trying, because the flow rate of my machine's 15 litres per minute, and it's got a flow rate of like, it's got about 250 bar, I think. And so it's not enough to penetrate the block paving. Like it'll clean the surface of the bricks, but it won't pull out the weeds and the moss and stuff. That I don't know if you've heard of a turbo nozzle. I don't know how experienced you are and stuff, so forgive me if I'm telling you to suck eggs. If you're using the lance and you've got something called a turbo nozzle on the end of it, absolutely tears through block paving, cleans it up beautifully, and it pulls out the weeds and the moss and everything from between the joints. But if you're using the surface cleaner and you don't have enough flow from your machine, it's not about PSI, it's all about the flow rate. Mine's only 15 litres per minute, and it's not enough to get all that crap out from between the joints. So you'd need a machine upwards of like 21 litres per minute, depending on the jet size and the size of your surface cleaner. The wider the surface cleaner, I think, for my knowledge, this is true, the wider the surface cleaner, the less effective it's going to be. So if I've got a 15 litre per minute machine and I'm trying to use a massive 22-inch surface cleaner, it's not going to be as effective as if I use that same machine with a smaller 18-inch surface cleaner, which is what I've got. If I was to go like 21 litres per minute, maybe have like an 18-inch surface cleaner with the appropriate jets for block paving, there's a chance that it might come up nicely. But really I'm looking probably like I'd need like a 25 litre per minute machine, which is like a more industrial, commercial style machine where you're sort of really seriously I suppose you want to be making some serious money if you're going to invest in that sort of equipment. And then you got to think of, do I have enough water to run that machine? So you need a big buffer tank. I've only got 250 litre buffer tank. There's so much that goes into it, it's insane. You could be here all day just sort of thinking about the ideal setup for each surface and stuff, and it's crazy. Kevin, welcome to the stream. You got to remember how much junk mail we get every day. You just have to know that people are going to look at it as they put it in the bin. Yeah, and it's exactly what I do. When people post stuff through my door, I take a quick glance, and then most of it goes in the bin, which feels like a waste, but it's like. A question after the video is done: does kiln dried sand also help to slow down regrowth of the weeds? Apparently, although in my experience, yeah, I suppose it does. Not much though. And if anyone says, is this going to stop weeds? Is the sand going to stop weeds? Is sealing my driveway going to stop weeds? Never say yes, because you can't control Mother Nature. You can't say with confidence that the weeds won't come back. Even if you've plastered the whole area in weed killer, they're still going to come back. So just manage the customer's expectations and say, nothing's going to stop the weeds. Sealing won't stop the weeds. You can't stop overhanging foliage from dropping seeds and bird poo with seeds in it and all that sort of stuff. You know. I went off on a bit of a tangent then, sorry. Do you plan to expand your business? I did. That's an idea for another video. I'm literally writing a script for now. How my goals have sort of changed over the last 12 months, where I don't want to give the whole premise of the video away, but it's essentially I was in a position where I think the quite natural position to aim towards a bigger van, bigger equipment, taking on new employees, heading, like, directing myself towards commercial cleaning and all that sort of stuff, big contracts, all that thing, you know. And I don't think that's what I want anymore, but I'm going to save that for the video because I haven't really fleshed out what I want to say about it yet. I know how I feel, but I don't know what I want to say about it. So to answer your question, not necessarily. I want to get more reliable, better equipment, but I don't necessarily want to expand the business. I'm quite comfortable where I am. If you reduce the size of the bar on the surface cleaner, you can get more power out of it. So literally reduce the length of the bar. Instead of it coming out the whole 18 inches, maybe reducing that length to like 14 to 16 inches. I have a 15 litre machine with a 16-inch bar, which seems to do okay. On block paving, what size jets do you have on that surface cleaner that allows you to do that with block paving? Because I'm in two minds. I feel like I need two surface cleaners. One that's like softer and bigger, appropriate for patios, natural stone, something that's not going to etch the surface. If I was to use it on tarmac or on concrete, I don't want to etch the surface. And then also another smaller, higher pressure surface cleaner that's appropriate for block paving. I feel like I need two, so I don't want to keep going in and changing the jets and stuff every time I'm on a different job. Use a headline just bin, it would probably work. Use a headline just bin, it would probably work. Kevin, I'm not sure what you mean. .6 litre, a true newbie here with a beginner gear. 9.6 litre per minute machine. I started out with an 11, I think it was an 11 litre per minute machine. It was a Parker's brand. It's in one of my videos. Parker's brand pressure washer. It was this one that I started with. And I actually really like this machine. Until it started leaking oil all over the customer's patio that I was cleaning. Nasty cleaning services. Welcome, man. I've seen you commenting on some of my stuff. Welcome to the stream. Keep having to remind myself that it's a constant learning curve. Just starting out, and I'm constantly asking questions if I've done a good job. Maybe I'm just being hypercritical. I'm using the KM KM3200. That's the same machine that I've got. I've got the KM PR3700 I've got. Marcus, that means that you're conscientious. It means that you care. You want to do a good job, and that is a formula for success. So don't be don't worry that you're constantly questioning if you're doing a good job. That's a good thing in my opinion. That'll take you a long way. Don't lose that, because as soon as you stop caring whether you're doing a good job, or you're overconfident, or you're cocky, you're going to start slipping. So keep that attitude. Keep doing research. Keep wanting to know as much as you can possibly know about doing the job. And it's good to... I always ask the customer before I leave the house, before I leave the property, I always ask two questions. I say, are you happy with what I've done? And I think 99% of the time I don't think I've had anyone that's necessarily been unhappy, actually. They always say, yep, really pleased, it looks amazing. And then the next question I say, this will save you a return journey. 100%. I'll say, is there anything you need me to do before I leave? Because sometimes they'll see you start packing up and they think, oh, he'll do that before he leaves. Oh, he'll move that bin back over there, or he'll move that pot before he leaves. And you don't. You pack up, you get in your van. See you later. And they're like, ah. I actually had a call. I had a text. That's my dog, sorry. I had a text the other day after I left a job. And she said, oh, Jake, I'm really sorry. I've tried to move these pots back, but they're too heavy. I couldn't do the one. And I flew straight back round there because I forgot what I'd done. She had these 3 old heavy pots. She said, oh, they've been sat there since I moved into the house like 25 years ago. I've never touched them. I've never moved them. And so I said, it's all right. I'll pick them up and I'll sort of hide them behind the conservatory Small little narrow path behind the conservatory, just some stones down there. So I put them behind there, cleaned everything up, left. Thought, she texted me and I saw she said about pots. I thought, I forgot to move them pots back, because they left my memory. I forgot they existed because she said she didn't even want them. And so I flew back round there, moved them back. It'll always save you a journey if you say, is there anything you need me to do before I leave? Because at that point they'll say, oh, would you mind just popping that bin back over there, or there's a bit of dirt on the window over there that I think you've missed, would you mind just wiping that down? Any of that sort of stuff will avoid a return visit. I don't know, I keep going off on these tangents, I'm sorry, you have to bear with me. I'm trying to get through your questions. Hello.
Hi. Just can hear you really loud outside.
Really?
Yeah, so you want to shut the window.
Oh my god, how embarrassing.
I
Ow.
thought I was barking.
She was barking at me.
But she didn't know if she was just yet.
The trouble is, this laptop is kicking out so much hot air. I need that window open. I'm boiling. Apparently everyone outside can hear me. Sorry guys. Salt is okay as a weed killer. I heard this. You can use you can mix hot water and salt, or even cold water and salt, spray that down, and that acts as a weed killer. It's crazy. I'm not sure the jet size, but it has 10-degree tips. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that. You go slow, so it works. I'm doing another video at the minute of a big block paving driveway, which came out really well. That's interesting, because I did one recently with my surface cleaner, and I did a section of it, and I weren't happy. My latest video actually, and because it left moss between the joints, and I did a test about a year ago as well, and it left moss between the joints. It cleaned the faces of the bricks exactly the same, but the surface cleaner just didn't compare to the turbo nozzle when it came to the moss and the weeds and stuff between the joints. Nasty. Thoughts on hot pressure washers, electric that use diesel to heat up the water. I've seen, all the pros have got them, haven't they, really? When you look at these people on Facebook. Partridge, he's recently upgraded to a boiler. We were talking about it a bit earlier. What is this song? And I've never used steam. I've never used a hot pressure washer, so I can't comment. It looks fun, all that steam flying around everywhere. And I've heard it's better for black spots. I've heard it's better for low pressure wall cleaning when you don't want to blow out all the pointing from between the blocks. But I don't know. I'd love to give it a go. What are your thoughts on hot pressure washer? I have two. Nilfisk and a Kranzel, they are great. They use a standard diesel to heat up the water. No noise, and heat helps on the stains. Oh, so you've actually got one? Or you got two? Best purchases you've made? He just got a noise complaint. Perfect timing. Do you ever get noise complaints? Nasty, I've no experience with it, mate. I'd love to have a go. I can imagine those machines have set you back quite a fair bit though, and if you bought those machines, if you've got two of them, probably means you've been in the industry a lot longer than I have. So you've got two things to consider, I suppose, is where you're going to get that power from. You've either got solar panels on the roof. Oh, you said it's like a diesel to heat up the water. 240 volt and diesel to heat up the water. So 240 volt, because I know Partridge gets he's got solar panels on his roof. That goes to a battery, and then the battery heats up the boiler. It's a lot of extra equipment. It's a lot, like, in terms of space in the van. It's a lot of extra money. It's like, it's got to be a good 4 to 6 grand at least to upgrade to a system like that, surely. To where it's like convenient for you. It's not just been slapped together, it's like a proper sorted system. I don't know, for me, I don't know if that's worth it at the minute, really. I'm happy with the results I'm getting with cold water and the appropriate chemicals. I'm sure I'll get to a point one day where I'll be ready to upgrade, but probably no time soon, I don't think. Thanks, man. Love the channel. Been a huge inspiration and guide. Keep it up. Marcus, I'm very pleased to hear that. Thank you. That's why I'm making the videos, just in the hope that someone gets something useful from it. No, I don't think I've ever got a noise complaint. I never turn my machine on before 9 o'clock, so I'll arrive at the customer's house at like maybe 8:45, give myself 15 minutes to set up, get the water flowing, fill my tank up, make sure I've got enough fuel in the washer, pull all my hose reel out, and God, that camera. Yeah, just basically make sure everything's where it needs to be, so that as soon as 9 o'clock comes around, I can literally just pull the starter on the machine and away I go. The other thing to consider, rather than... Oh, I did have one noise complaint actually from a lady that was working from home. She sent her husband out to say, we didn't expect you to be cleaning today. And I'm trying to work from home. My wife's trying to work from home. It's like, what do you want me to do? Like, go around the whole road, hand out leaflets to say I'm going to be pressure washing in your area tomorrow? Like, if that was me, it's one day, it's like one morning out of my whole year when everything's peaceful. It's like, you just put up with it, didn't you? You close the window, you put your headphones on or whatever, you put up with it. I'm not going to go out and cause someone else grief because I can't deal with the noise. Like, it's people like that have got far too much time on their hands. They're not really working. They're not working. They're just finding something to be miserable about. The machines are portable, so not fixed in the van. The machines are a few grand. I tend to use customers' electric. They don't use much. Sounds daft, but they are not too bad on the electric bill. The surface cleaner, you have to be careful, as if you reduce the jet size too small, you get back pressure that can kill your pump. Ooh, that's interesting to know. Back pressure that can kill your pump. So if you're using like a nozzle that's too small on the end of your lance or something, and you're using the machine on full pressure and it's not actually kicking all the water out, you end up with back pressure as well. Is that how that works? I didn't know that was a thing. I suppose if the pump's trying to push water in one direction and it's getting I don't know, I'm talking bollocks, I don't know. Someone commented earlier to say, I missed a comment earlier and it was a nice one, so I want to go back to it. Mr. Moo. Just started out myself in the Highlands, learnt a lot from Smelt already, really appreciate the knowledge shared. No worries. Thanks for taking the time to comment, I appreciate it. Right. Let's keep going. My Facebook's not loading. Pressure washing ASMR. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? HK Jet Washing's been grinding recently. He's had a couple of good results today. I love conservatory cleans, or like lean-tos, like conservatory roofs and stuff. I love seeing the before and afters on these. They're very satisfying. Although quite awkward to do sometimes. A conservatory, if you've got a standard conservatory, you've got to clean 3 sides of it and like a pointy roof, and like on the one side you've got the neighbour's fence, and sometimes access is really weird trying to get over to that one side over the crest of the peak, and then you got to do the gutters, and that can be very difficult sometimes. But and you've got to price well for them as well, because they take longer than you'd expect them to take, even if you've got like the right equipment. I use a water-fed brush on these, and they still take a decent amount of time to get them looking perfect. It's the rails, it's these bars. They always hold a load of crud underneath them, and so I feel like have you ever washed like a window? Been pressure washing, you got dirt all up the window, you wash the window down, and then you get down to the bottom of the windowsill. It feels like no matter how much you spray the bottom of that windowsill, dirt and chunks and cobwebs and leaves and all sorts just keep flying out of the bottom of this windowsill forever. You can't get rid of it. It's the same with these rails on the conservatory roofs and stuff. It's like UPVC just seems to hold a lot of stuff in the cracks. Love the videos, as you tend to explain a lot of stuff rather than just filming the cleans. Nasty, thank you. That's the goal. I think there's so much pressure washing content on YouTube. You can watch satisfying pressure washing videos on YouTube all day, but I think what I'm trying to do to set myself apart from the crowd is to try and go more into the details, the stuff that people actually want to know when they're setting up their business, or when they're starting a project they've never done before, or when they're doing a type of clean that they've never done before, or a surface that they've never done before. It's the stuff you sort of want to know, or want to know to look out for. And a lot of people also tend to only show you the successes, which is quite disingenuous, I think. Not that I'm hating on anyone. It's natural to only want to show the good stuff. I totally understand. But I think it's important to also show when it goes wrong, or when it doesn't go as expected, or you're disappointed with the results. I've got a story about that from today, actually. I didn't take a picture. I knew I should have took a picture. I'll get onto it in a minute. Bear with me. But thank you, Nasty. What should I do with jobs with no drainage? Run as fast as you can. No. It's very difficult. I had one today that had no drainage, literally. I don't know if there's a good way I can show you from my phone, really. This one, can you see this? If I show you this. This is like large monoblock right next to a pond. See that pond on the right? And there was no drainage. It literally just flooded into big pools of water right in the middle of where I'd just cleaned, and so I had to brush it all in a different direction uphill, brush the water uphill, and then eventually just send it into the borders. Another thing I always ask when I'm doing a quote, if I can't see a drain or it looks like it's going to be awkward, I'll say, have you ever had issues with flooding, either when you've cleaned it or when it rains? Have you ever had issues with flooding? Because they'll always say, oh, there is an area down the bottom there where it occasionally gathers, but it goes after a while, it's fine. It's like, it's not fine. It won't be fine. The amount of water that you're going to put down, it won't be fine. It's going to flood. And that's exactly what happened today. But as long as you set the customer's expectations and say, look, the area is going to flood. I'm going to have to divert the water in a different direction. Sometimes if it's like a blocked drain, or if it's like pooling in one very specific area, I'll get the gutter vacuum out. Although it's not fun sucking up all the water, and after 4 or 5 seconds your tank's full. You have to run over to a drain, pour it in, come back, suck up some more water, and you end up making 10 or 15 journeys with a full tank of water. It's not fun. When you can't see a drain, when you can't see obvious drainage, when you go and quote a job, price higher. Always just price higher, because it's going to be a nightmare. There's been many occasions where I've cleaned a driveway or a patio, normally a driveway, and the cleanup takes way longer than the actual cleaning itself. Pressure washing a block paved driveway, I could do a reasonably sized one in less than an hour. It's always the cleanup that takes the longest, in my experience. GIF. Have I missed anything? Sorry. GIF 16. Sorry, I've just joined the chat. I've bought a mobile unit. How can I add hot water system, if that makes sense? Thanks for your helpful hints. Oh, GIF. Thanks for coming into the stream. Whereabouts are you from? Because there's plenty of boilers out there that you can attach to your current setup. I've been following Precious pressure washers. I wonder if I can find them on here instead. PWS Stafford, these guys with their Alpha range. I don't know where you are, so this could be totally irrelevant, but these guys do a boiler setup. So this is a separate boiler. How can I make this bigger? I can't. So this is like a standalone boiler that I believe, I don't know much about them, but I believe you can just hook this up to your pressure washer and start running with hot water. V3 frame, all new configuration, pipework. This leaves a new tie down points available machine. Hot box, yeah, it's basically a hot box. Don't know much about them, but they look cool and they give you steam. Sorry about these music choices. This is just like copyright free YouTube music, so I have not specifically picked this music. To add hot water, you need an electric supply and a boiler system that uses diesel normally to heat the water. There you go. Have you cleaned any solar panels on roofs? Do you need any specialist equipment to clean them? I have. My friend, my very good friend, it's actually my ex-partner's brother. He has just started his own solar panel. It's called Solar Secure. And I do a bit of work with him sometimes. I don't want to sign in. And I don't think he was doing much cleaning of solar panels originally. I can't even click on it without logging in. Oh, that's annoying. But he goes around the outside of them, pigeon proofing them. He puts these cages up around the outside. Can you see in this one here? There's like a cage around the outside of that. So I did a driveway for a customer, and he said, do you know anyone that can pigeon proof the solar panels? I said, yes, I do. My good friend. And so we quoted him to clean the solar panels. We had a water-fed brush and biocide, and he proofed them as well. The one thing you got to look out for if you're going to be cleaning solar panels, you'll want to be very careful with the gutters. The gutters below them will generally be absolutely full to the brim of pigeon poo, and it's nasty stuff. Very dangerous for your lungs if you're cleaning pigeon poo. So you're going to want to need to get a mask, proper mask with filters, and it will stink your van out. It will stink all your equipment out for weeks. So be very careful of that. Water-fed brush, gardener backpack with the pump. One of these, and then the gardener backpack V3 is what I use. Getting a bit dark now, isn't it? Did I click on the wrong thing? Spares. Here we go. This is what I've got. 120 quid. One of the best investments I've made. This is what I brush all my chemicals out through. 20 litre backpack. Should I buy a non-submersible pump? I saw in one of Partridge's latest videos, Sid Partridge exterior cleaning, he went back to one of his first customers that had a drainage issue, cleaned their property for free, and he used one of those submersible pumps, and I think he gave up with it after. I can't remember, but I don't think he liked it. You could do. I don't see why it wouldn't work. Just pump the water somewhere else. Seems like an ideal solution, but I suppose the water's got to be deep enough. I've watched the pool guy on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. He uses those submersible pumps when he's cleaning out the swimming pools, so they clearly work. Might be a good idea. Depends how often you're going to get a job with poor drainage, whether you think it's worth the investment. Where do you get your chemicals from? Most of the chemicals I get from Pure Seal. I think they're changing this website to trade only. Oh no, trade only to see the prices. But Pure Seal, this is where I buy most of my sealers from, and this is where I buy my biocide from. Soft washing chemicals, deck cleaning. Worth having a look if you've not seen Pure Seal before. Lay flat hose. Is that with the submersible pump? The lay flat hose. Nasty. Have you ever come across anything that is good at redirecting the water flow? Like those socks, those big water. Is it like a water snake or something? If you use one and you like it, can you link it please in the chat, because I've been looking. I haven't been looking for one. I keep thinking about looking for one, and I keep forgetting, because that'll be really handy. Thank you for the answer. Appreciated. No worries, man. Thanks for the questions. Do you recommend anyone? Hi there, Stuart. Welcome to the stream. What's going on? I just would like to chip in on the drainage issue. Hope it's okay, but I have used a tool called a mudsucker, which attaches to your lance. I've always wondered how they work. A mudsucker is, as far as I understand it, essentially a vacuum. So do you use it while you're pressure washing? Are you pressure washing, so you're pushing out all that water and you're simultaneously sucking up water? Because I've also seen the surface cleaners, the flat surface cleaners that have got some sort of mud sucker attachment on them as well, which I think's insane. It's like, if it works well, it's just you've got all these extra hoses and stuff hanging around, I suppose. It's difficult to navigate one heavy high pressure hose, let alone a heavy high pressure hose and a vacuum hose coming off it as well. I mean, you guys are clearly hanging around for a bit, so that's very kind. Do you think you'd benefit from me streaming like this more often? This is the first time I've streamed on YouTube. I've enjoyed it. I think we've had a lot to talk about. I don't know whether this is something we should do more regularly going forward, as well as the regular videos. Occasionally, like, I want to put stuff out there because I get a lot of questions. I get a lot of people DMing me and a lot of comments in the videos, and if I stopped to try and answer every single one of those questions, I feel like it would just take hours and hours and hours away from my day. I get 3 or 4 DMs every day on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, of people asking me very specific questions about equipment and starting a business and all that sort of stuff. But if I can just do this instead, then I feel like I'm a sort of answer, like I'm remembering certain things that people have been asking, so I'm remembering the topics of conversation, and I can just get it out here, and you guys can ask me live. Rather, 100% more streaming. Keep doing it. Yes, for sure. Keep doing it. Okay, good. Okay, we'll do this more often then, because I'm enjoying it, and it gets me thinking about stuff as well, because obviously I've only been doing this full time for just over a year now, so I'm learning every day. I'm not coming from a position where I know all of the answers to your questions. People message me as if I'm just supposed to know the technical details about this very specific machine that they're looking at. It's like, I don't know. I know about my machine, I don't know about that one. Redirect them and announce your live streams ahead of time. Hey, that's a good idea. So in the videos, by the way guys, I'm going to be streaming on this day, starting from this time. That's a good idea. And then maybe they'll wait for me. I watch I watch a lot of video games. I still keep up with, like, even though I don't really play video games anymore, I still keep up with like video game news and stuff. I watch a chap called Lyric on Twitch, 5 o'clock every single night. He streams 6 days a week, and I'm always there waiting at 5 o'clock for him to go live. That's like my downtime. When I'm cooking, I'll have these video games playing, and it's just like hearing someone's voice. I've been watching him for over 10 years. It's insane, really. A grown man watching video games. I don't know. Whatever. Stuart says, yeah, it uses the pressure from the lance to send debris up through a pipe, which can be placed somewhere for it to drain off. So there's no vacuum. Are you pressure washing? Are you cleaning as well as, or is it a separate lance? You're blowing my mind a bit there, Stuart. I don't know what to make of that, because are you saying that you switch to that lance specifically to suck water up by using the pressure from the machine to make this loop where it's pushing water in, and the only way that it can escape is back out through the hose? Or are you cleaning while it's sucking? I'm confused about that, because I've seen them and I didn't know how they worked. Connor says, yeah, good information putting out there, man. If you have time, would be nice to watch again. Oh, that's awesome, thank you. Gavin says, for sure, buddy, very informative. Oh, I'll go back and watch it all through again, because I think you've been very helpful. Please do one next month. Thanks, man, I will. I've been watching a few of your vids. Have you ever used Nuclear Pro on a roof before? Thanks, Paul. I think a lot of people use hypo on roofs. There's no reason why you can't, unless it's like a natural slate roof, or you're going to get runoff onto like lead. You want to keep it well away from like lead flashing and stuff like that. You'll get instant results with hypo, but if you were to use biocide instead, you're not going to get the instant results, but it will last a lot longer. It will look good for a lot longer. I'm sure you already know this, but a biocide will keep activating every time it rains. And so, although you don't get the instant results of like black spot removal, for example, from as you do with hypo, if you use a biocide like this, you can keep the roof clean for a good 12 to 24 months. And if you don't want to go down the pressure washing route and you just want to scrape the moss off the roof, I'd go biocide anyway, because you're not going to get good instant results by I wouldn't have thought you'll get good instant results by scraping a roof and then using hypo. But if you scrape a roof and then use biocide and come back like 6 months later, 3 to 6 months later, it's going to look a lot better than it would look if you were to just use hypo. Like a water vortex. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Should we have a look at a Mudsucker video? Would it help if I spelt it right, wouldn't it? Oh, this is Squeaky Clean Dave. I've been talking to him.
Hello and welcome to the channel. So if you do any type of pressure washing at all, it's inevitable that you're going to come across a situation where the water just pools in one particular place and you can't get rid of it. You spend hours either trying to pressure wash it out with a lance and blow it out everywhere, or shoveling it somewhere, or sweeping it away, and it just causes loads of mess, takes loads of time, and it's just a pain in the neck. And this was the case on the recent job I did when my pressure washer broke down. So what I'm going to do today, so there's no real drainage down here, but I think I've got a solution for that, which I'll show you in a bit. For the recent video I did, I bought this with my own money. Now this was from Equip to Clean, and it's called, if I can get it to focus, a Mudsucker. And the way it works, there's a cone of metal here. You attach a 1/4 inch lance to it, and the other end to your pressure washer, and then it's got a jet that faces straight up the hose. You've got, I think it's probably 1.5 inch hose here, 38mm hose, and you get 5 meters of hose from it. Now this comes from Equip to Clean, as I said, and it is £99.95. I think
that's quite reasonable, isn't it, really?
Postage and VAT on that price, so it's quite a good deal on that. You will need to
that's a good price, I'd have thought.
And I've got my lance here. So this lance here is one that I got for my quad jet, and it's just got a 1/4 inch quick release fitting on it. Now all you do is to put it on, quick release on, and what Equip to Clean recommend is that that you attach the hose to the lance for the first lot. If you don't do that and it bends straight away, the pressure of the water will blow a hole in the side of the hose. So you need to keep it straight for pretty much the length of the lance to start with. Now, the way it works, as I said, the water coming from your pressure washer pushes 25 litres
I want to see it working
water from out of a tray, and then it'll give us a bit of an idea how well it works.
He's got some good videos there, Dave has. For the quality of his content, he needs a lot more than 7,000 subscribers.
1, go.
What?
That's 25 litres.
That's insane. I still don't understand. He's just took out 25 litres out of that bucket in 6 seconds. I don't understand, because he's putting water into the bucket with the lance. Oh no, because the tip was 90 degrees. So the water that he's spraying out of the lance isn't going into the bucket, it's going back up into the tube, isn't it? And because it's doing that, it's bringing all the other water out of the bucket with it. Ah, that's how that works. I just thought, oh, you're spraying water down and you've got this low suction action coming back up. Like that's actually mad. I didn't expect it to work like that.
In 6.25 seconds. So I think you got to agree there, it really does blast it out. That was 25 litres, might be a litre left in the bottom. That was in just over 6 seconds. So it really does push it out quickly. So you're going to really clean up
That's wicked.
A patio or a sump or whatever you've got really fast.
Good job, Dave.
But I hear you say, Dave, we never do it with clean water though. It's always dirty water we're using. Well, I thought about that. So what I've done, go up to sucker. You can.
Oh my god, he's actually got like aggregate and sand.
I think it says up to 20mm pieces in that. So that is 20mm ballast, which means the stones in the sand and gravel go up to 20mm. So that is what we got in there. We've got gutter vacuum sludge, and we've got sand and gravel from.
You guys do me a favour and go and give this man a sub. Squeaky Clean Dave. I'm going to be working with him in the next couple of weeks, I reckon. He only lives in Kidderminster, just down the road. Go and show him some love. Give him a subscription.
From a building
It's
site,
free.
basically. So, to our bucket of sand and gravel and sludge, I'm adding some water.
Oh my god, you're going to suck that up as well. It's got rocks in it.
Got 4
Absolute
litres of
rocks
water,
inside.
I'll just add to it, wet it up a bit. Now, I haven't actually done this before, so
He's not done it
well,
before.
it's going to work. You'll be seeing with me. For the
That's
first time
funny.
how
He's
well
not
this
actually done it.
works and whether it does suck up sludge, stones, the whole lot. We'll see together.
Go on, Dave.
So we got about what we got. Nice and slimy, and let's give it a go.
Oh, he's got the twin camera set up as well, look. Look at this. Can you appreciate this production quality? He's got the GoPro set up on the tripod over here, and he's got another camera set up for this. Addressing, like, he's found this place to do this detailed product test. He's addressing the camera face to face, which I struggle with. If I'm out in public or I'm on someone's driveway and I'm trying to film, majority of the time you'll find me, I'm filming and I'm talking behind the camera while I'm filming what's in front of me. Because if I turn the camera and I've got to look at the camera and start talking like that, or I've got it on a tripod and I'm sat on someone's drive, I'm so scared that all the neighbours are watching me. This guy's nailed it. He knows exactly what he's doing. He deserves well more than 7,000 subscribers. He's doing the work, man. Is this working? That's the question.
Small stone stuck in there. Now, from what I can see of this, it does need some water in it. So drop the hose pipe in, give it another stir around, and we'll give it another go.
So he needs water. He needs water to remove the sludge.
Yeah, got a couple of bigger stones in there though.
I mean, I'm not surprised really. The size of them stones that he was trying to suck up.
Just in case. Give them a tap.
The size of them stones he was trying to suck up, I'm not surprised it's blocking. Look at the production quality on this. The effort this guy's putting in to make these videos. And all of his videos are like this. Like, he fully addresses the camera. He's addressing the audience. I don't watch enough of his videos, but the ones I have seen have all been very good. I watched this one. I wonder if you can get different ends for it, like a wider end so it doesn't block. I mean, I like that it's got like a metal cage on the bottom so that you can't damage the end of your lance while you're pushing it into all the sludge. I'm going to show you a clip. Do you guys want to see a clip from my unreleased video for Monday? So I'll show you what I had to deal with. Absolute exclusive, never before seen footage for Monday's video. Bear with. It's a secret footage. Oh, the boy. Oh, secret footage never before seen. Give me a second, I'm trying to find the right bit. Speaking of mud suckers, look what I had to contend with the other day. Ready? Any kind of tarmac restorer on this one. It's just going to be a wash, and then you guys are privileged to be able to see this footage early. I'm going to tell you that. The buyer side, I have identified one small potential issue. The drainage seems to all be coming down here onto the neighbour's side, which there's one small drain down there and it's already blocked, and I've only done maybe a sixth of the entire drive so far, so we need to do something about this. This is all fairly clean water as well. It's being sort of filtered on its way down, and so this hasn't got any, there's nothing clogging it up. So this, just for context, the lady next door, when I said I'm having issues where it's all coming down onto your drive, I'm very sorry, I didn't expect this, and I said your drain seems to be blocked. And a lot of the times it's the case where if you're washing in a certain direction, all the sand and everything's flowing into the drain, and sometimes you're the one that's blocking it. But in this situation, you said, oh no, it's always been blocked, it always floods, it's not your fault, so don't worry. And she was really cool about it, but I thought, well, I need to unblock it, I need to clear it, because if I don't, this job is going to take about, you know, I'm going to have to wait for it to gradually drain away between passes. Yeah, this is a potential issue, but we'll see. Okay, I've just partially watch this unblocked this drain. Can't believe I did this. There's so much stuff down inside. Listen to the noise. Let me run that back. Listen to the noise. There's so much stuff down inside. Oh God. So this was all already down there. Senator. I'd literally been washing for like 10 minutes. And so it was only really clean water that was going down into this drain. So all this mud was already in there. And it had been for God knows how long. She said it's flooded for as long as I've been here. The nozzle down there. I had a what's it called on your wrist? I had a bracelet. I actually had a bracelet on, just like a cheap beaded bracelet, and I lost it in there. And I did a scoop, and I pulled out my bracelet, and I didn't even know it had come off my wrist. How gross is that? Right, that's enough of that video. You cheeky monkeys. Getting that exclusive content early. This is a 22-minute video scheduled for 5:30 on Monday afternoon. Be there or be square. The drain sounds relieved. It actually does, doesn't it? It was like, ah. Never scrubbing gutters again. I've always thought about this. Pressure washing gutters. But I read a comment about pressure washing gutters saying that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. And so at that point I thought, oh, that must be stupid. But I know occasionally HK Jet Washing will pressure wash your gutters. He's got one of them extendable lances that are really hard to control when you turn the pressure washer up full blast. Have you ever seen them? These.
Too much money into it. So yeah.
These things, just to let you know, if you're ever considering buying one of these lances, don't expect to be able to use it on full pressure. From a conventional petrol pressure washer, I can see he's got a Karcher there, so I'm wondering if he's going to use it with a Karcher. But literally, I had a turbo nozzle on the end of it. It was facing sort of 90 degrees down, and I pulled the trigger, and I flew back. I almost totally lost control of it, and I was trying to pull it back down to the ground like this, like that, just to get it like 90 degrees, sort of eye level. And the pole was bending, like it was like like that. Yeah, useless.
Little Lance, I'll put all the details to this.
But I guess you're not going to be cleaning a roof at full pressure with the turbo nozzle, are you? You're going to turn the pressure right down. But 12 months ago, I didn't know that. So I just thought, these are crap. Who would buy one of these?
In the description below. But we'll see how we get on with it. So what I'm planning on doing is sucking it all out with the Panther. So getting it all clean. Then
I've got the Panther, but it's green. I think that's the old 1500 watt Panther, and I've got the 1700 watt Panther, which is the new version.
Then I'm going to spray with the constant flow, and then I'm going to use.
What did he say? He's going to spray with the constant flow.
flow, getting it all clean. Then I'm going to spray with the constant flow, and then I'm going to use the lance with my K4, and that's another of the reasons that I bought this lance, because I'd already got the K4. I didn't want to bring my big pressure washer to the job, because that's quite a big thing to be umping around.
That makes sense.
So I've got a little K4.
This guy's got some gear, isn't he? He's got everything.
This will work with the K4. It's got a Karcher adapter to it, so which some of the other lances that they sell hadn't. So
Sorry
I
if
thought
that
I'd give it
volume was a bit
So I've
loud. I
actually
just
been and done one job already.
I just saw the volume was peaking. Sorry about that.
Have a look and see how we got on with it.
I'm gonna go and grab another beer. You guys sit tight.
Clean and a gutter empty. I've done a video here before, and the customer's normally pretty good about it. So we'll get this one done. We'll get it sucked out with the Panther first, and then we'll clean it all down. So keep watching and see how we get on.
Let me just quickly have a look, because I've been meaning to have a look at this. Supreme Fascia Suffolk gutter brushes. See, I've got one of hang on, my current one is this, the Ultimate Medium Soft, which is not ideal. There it is. That's the one I've got. I'll catch up on the chat in just a minute, guys. Sorry about that, I was just grabbing a beer. And I'm using that for like gutters, soffits, all that sort of stuff. What I need is one of these flocked brushes where the bristles are split at the ends. Oh yeah, these are better, aren't they? And they're much longer bristles as well, so they get underneath the gutters, because mine don't get underneath the gutters. They go under, but if you look from a certain angle you can still see it up inside. It's still dirty. There's nothing I can do about that other than getting up there with my ladder and wiping it by hand. But it defeats the whole point of having a water-fed pole then, doesn't it? That's what I need. That's the one I'm going to get. And you pair that with the 50-degree fan jets that clip inside here. These things. I've got the 50-degree ones that spray outwards. That'd be... I'm going to order one of them. Shall I order it now? I'm not signed in. I'll order it another time, but I'm going to get them. I'm only 15 years old and I'm starting my own gardening pressure washing business. I have had 2 jobs with drainage problems. No way, that's so unlucky. Is it worth buying a non-submersible pump? I have another job waiting with drainage issues. What do you think? I don't have much money either. Just take it into account with your pricing. If you need to buy a pump, just account for that in the pricing. Explain to the customer, look, the drainage is going to be a nightmare. There's no clear direction the water's going to flow. It's going to flood. It's going to cause me issues. I need extra equipment and it's going to take me a lot longer, which is why I've priced higher. And at that point, it's up to them whether they want to go ahead with the quote. You shouldn't be in a position where you're desperate to land that job. If you're desperate to land one job, you need to be just thinking about things differently. Or organising yourself slightly differently. You should be able to put yourself in a position where it's great if you land the job, but those jobs that are going to be difficult, and you know they're going to be difficult, price higher for those. And if the customer wants to absorb that cost, that's fine. And if not, it means you don't have to do one of these super difficult jobs. And it's like you can't lose either way. When there's extra equipment needed or extra time needed, and you set the customer's expectations and you let them know, this is why I've priced higher. This is my concern. You can't say fairer than that. Cheers, Dave.
For it, so might be one of those coming soon, and we'll see how we get on with that. So will I use it in future? Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Can't imagine ever going back to scrubbing gutters and fascias again. Really love the way this worked, love the way it turned out. So the links to everything are in the description below. Hopefully there'll be a write-up coming on this on the cleaning guide, so make sure you check that out and keep an eye on it in case you want one of these. So thanks for watching, bye for now.
So he's never going to be scrubbing gutters again. That is interesting. Because when I'm offering gutter cleaning stuff, that is like, I price high for washing external gutters. Oh, this is the stuff I love to see. People just being absolute nutters. Look at that. They're tied to each other. And he's leaning right over there between his legs. If he just falls slightly forward, there is nothing stopping him going over that edge. And all he's done is tied himself to his mate. So if he goes down, the other one's going down with him. That's insane. This is clearly another country. It doesn't look like it's the UK. That's funny. This is one of the reasons I enjoy Facebook. You occasionally stumble across these, especially the Facebook groups, the pressure washing groups, the window cleaning ones, because you'll see a lot of the time it's like like travellers and stuff that have pulled up to a certain area, and people are getting videos of these people just climbing up on roofs in their trainers with no equipment, no safety equipment, with a Karcher, and they're just pressure washing a roof, doing a bad job, and like probably charging through the roof. Excuse the pun. I love watching, I get so many construction reels and pressure washing stuff come up on my feed. Like this. Oh my god. It's normally gardening. It's normally either gardening, landscaping, construction, bricklaying, or pressure washing. Equipped to Clean sell these. They call it a rinse down brush, I think, or a wand. That would be very useful, to be fair. Seeing how effective that is in this video makes me kind of want one. But I wonder what sort of machine they're using. I wonder what flow rate they're using to have all those fan jets. What's that? 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6. To have 7 fan jets cleaning that effectively, you got to have a lot of water coming out at the end of that, ain't you? Should I go for the mud sucker, which attaches to the pressure washer? I don't know, mate. Are you in the US or are you in the UK? As a more well-rounded investment, you might want to consider a gutter vacuum, because at that point you'd be able to offer gutter clearing in the winter months. And even now I'm still doing gutter clearing now, and it's something that you can use to suck up all your water when you've got poor drainage. I've even used it to unblock drains before. I took a drain unblocking job that I've got no bloody camera. I've got no business unblocking drains, but a lady messaged me to unblock her drain. I thought, she sent me some pictures. I thought, I can have a look. I reckon I could do that. And then I unblocked her drain successfully with the gutter vacuum. And then I got a block paving clean out of it as well. She said, "Oh, you've done such a good job. Do you clean drives as well?" I was like, "Yes, I do."
How's it going?
Why is the volume on? I've turned the volume off. Far too loud. Who are all these random people suggested for you? Some random people just appearing on my business page. I suppose they've got to feed you something, can't they? But these are just random families that are just popping up on my stuff. Live has been going for 2 hours. Good job, bud. Still not bored yet. That's good to know. I mean, this is the sort of stuff I'd be doing anyway, so I thought I might as well do it with you guys. Like when I've finished work for the day and I've cooked dinner, I'm either jumping on the computer to edit a video or I'm just scrolling. You know, when you get in that endless... This is the guy that messaged me about leads. You know, you get in that endless scroll And some of it's interesting, to be fair, which I guess is why it keeps me engaged, keeps me scrolling. This is just Facebook, so why don't we scroll? I like YouTube Shorts, to be fair. There I am, look. This isn't the account that I actually watch shorts on, so it's not going to be... This is the sort of stuff that gets me. People making stuff. Casting. Woodwork, wood turning. All that sort of stuff fascinates me. Yeah, that ASMR. You know what the problem is? When you come across a video like this, and they'll do half of it, and they'll say, tune in for part 2 for the big reveal. It's like, God, I just spent 2 minutes of my life watching your video, and you're not even going to show me the result.
Hey, Howard.
Lots of BMX and stuff as well.
So why do I ride with no chain? Well, let's talk about it. But well, I technically...
So this species is the southern yellowjacket, also known as Vespula squamosa, and is by far one of the most aggressive yellowjacket species that I deal with here in PA. They are absolutely relentless when they're attacking something to defend their colony. And with them being a subterranean yellowjacket species, no one knows they're there until they stumble.
Feng Shui.
Looks like we're playing a little game of cat and mouse here. I reinforce it. He finds a way. What are we gonna do this time?
Give me your shoe.
I shouldn't even considered.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm not going to do this. I shouldn't be playing all this music. It's going to get me demonetized. This is the sort of stuff I watch. Pen reviews. Peter Draws. I watch comedian stuff. So my next purchase, when it comes to pressure washing, I think could potentially be one of these. The XJet M5. And Equipped to Clean do one as well, which seems a bit more limited than the conventional XJet. I don't like the idea of having to take it apart and swap the nozzles depending on what sort of ratio mix you want. I'd like to be able to sort of just twist it. Why haven't they done a twisty thing? A twisty thing would work, because all these little nozzles are doing are adjusting the amount of chemical that can get in there. So why not have a twisty thing on the bottom with a dial on the side to show you the ratio? And also it's 200 quid. And I'm not being funny, but the only thing that's stopping me buying one of these is not even the price. Like I have the money to buy one of these. It's just the principle of this thing costing 200 quid when it's just that. You don't even get the trigger with it, I don't think. With mini, and here we go. That's what I'd get. So with mini lance is an extra 30 quid, alright. And I want mini quick release. So 228 quid. Let's get rid of the lance because I've got a mini lance anyway. So 200 quid for a couple of fittings and a bit of pipe. I really struggle to understand where they've got that price from. And I think it's because they're very effective. It's a very effective tool. Like, I understand it's good at what it does, and so I feel like they just stick the price way up. But then again, a company I spoke to in Evesham said we're looking at potentially making our own X-Jet, but it's coming up more expensive than we thought. And when we try and get an X-Jet from this company to sell it in our shop, there's not enough margin in it for us to make any decent money from it. And so there must be some sort of technical challenge that makes the X-Jet, look how small it is. 200 quid. It must just be a challenging item to manufacture, I suppose. So that's on the potential list, although I just don't like the idea of using one, just because it's so unpredictable. But I guess if you turn the revs down on your machine, then I'd have thought you'd have enough control. And then the other thing, Nasty, have you got an X-Jet? Snow foam attachment, remove, bottle, attach hose, job done. Oh my god, you've just blown my mind. I was literally thinking, how can I modify a snow foam lance? Like a plastic snow foam lance, so it's okay for chemicals. I don't want anything with like metal or brass or anything, because running hypo through it, it's just going to oxidize. And I was thinking, can I find a bottle big enough that makes it worth sort of carrying around with me, and get a longer hose that goes down into the bottom of the bottle? But you don't even need a bottle. You just need a longer... But how long can you go? eBay special snow foams, 10 quid. How long can that tube be where it still effectively sucks the chemical? And also, what do you do about the ratio of the chemical? Because obviously you don't know. You don't really know the ratio that you're getting. I suppose it depends on the flow rate of your machine, the size of the hose, the length of the hose. Have you done that, Nasty? Have you made your own X-Jet doing it like that? I've been seriously thinking, because I thought, because I don't want to buy an X-Jet. I think it's outrageous money, 200 quid for a couple of metal fittings. Sorry, I'm just opening some cookies, bear with me. If I can get like an X-Jet hack, but it's still effective, and I can put that out on my YouTube channel and save people a lot of money, save people like me who don't want to spend 200 quid on an X-Jet, save them a lot of money, and they can still get the chemicals out nice and quickly. That'd be sick. So I think the problem for me is I like to specifically know the ratio of the mix, and when I'm using the Gardener backpack, I can put in 5 litres of water and 1 litre of hypo and know exactly the ratio that's coming out the end of the lance or the water fed brush. But if you're doing it like that, you're not necessarily going to know the exact ratio. Yeah, I guess with enough experience of using it, you'd be able to roughly determine the kind of ratio that you're getting by the results, how quickly it takes for the bottle of chemicals to empty when you're doing it. Yeah, I guess with enough experience, enough times using it, it's going to be a lot of trial and error, isn't it? Will the X-Jet tell you the exact ratio? Yes. So with those the little coloured nozzles that you stick inside the X-Jet, they change the ratio. But it also, they've got a ratio chart where you look at your flow rate of the machine, and then you get your intended ratio, and then it gives you the colour of the little nozzle that you need to put in there. And if, say for example, I'm putting 4:1, 5:1 down of hypo, say I settle on 4:1, I stick that in the little X-Jet, put it all back together, spray it down, it's not strong enough, and then I need to go back in 2:1 or 1:1. It means I've got to disassemble the X-Jet that's had fresh bleach running through it. I suppose you run it under a tap, or you get it all over your fingers and start burning your fingers. Who wants to do that? Who wants to stop their machine or stop work to start disassembling equipment halfway through a job and putting a different nozzle in, not even knowing whether that's going to do what you want it to do? Because there's never any guarantee with chemicals. Sometimes it works better than expected, and sometimes you think, oh, I wish I'd have got a better result for that one. Batch mix a drum beforehand, it's a pain, I know. It's a pain, but I know what the ratio is. Yeah, Stuart, I was also thinking something similar where Pure Seal recommend that you put like 500 mil of their surfactant into a 25 litre tub of hypo. And I think I prefer mixing it every time I pour it into the backpack rather than mixing a whole tub beforehand. I don't know, maybe I will this time. Maybe I'll mix the whole tub because I'm getting some hypo tomorrow. I don't know how I want to do it yet. Yeah, you can change the spread with the snow foam lance, can't you? It's either like that or it's like that. Alright Jake, what's going on? I'll tell you exactly where I buy my hypo from. So I used to buy Pure Seal's this because it's sodium hypochlorite with surfactant already mixed in, wetting agents, scent masks, good dwell times, pre-mixed, good to go. Almost 50 quid for 20 litres. But now I go to a local farm shop. You should be able to get it from most farm shops. So now I can get 25 litres for £33.50. But it means I've got to mix in my own surfactant, which I also order from Pure Seal anyway. Which is this. But if you get 5 litres of this, you can buy 10 of these barrels and still only use one 5 litre tub, because it's 500 ml per 25 litre barrel. Or you just add more if you want it more foamy. So this is down the road. So the other thing is, this is super convenient for me to just go and grab when I start running out, rather than me having to be proactive, order it, wait for 2 or 3 days, and then it gets delivered. So I'm saving money and it's more convenient for me. So this is kind of the way I like to do it now. In an ideal world, I'd be buying Nuclear Pro. Where's it gone? It's gone. In an ideal world, I'd be buying Nuclear Pro because it's already pre-mixed, but you do get slightly less and it is more expensive, so you got to weigh up the options. Newbie question: if I stop pressure washing a patio to clean up a bit for like 5 minutes, is it wise to stop the machine, or can I keep it running with the pressure in the hose? So it depends on what sort of pressure washer you've got. If you've got one that circulates the water back into your buffer tank, then it's fine. So generally, with a more sort of premium machine that's around 15 litres per minute or over, you'll have like a bypass valve, where as soon as you take your hand off the trigger, the water is still being pumped through the pump, but instead of coming out your trigger, it's being bypassed and going back into your buffer tank. But with a lower power machine, or with a cheaper Chinese machine, which is what I've got, you don't have that recirculation valve, and so when you take your finger off the trigger, the engine is still running, and I don't know what happens to the pump. I think technically it is still trying to pump water out of the lance, but it can't. So in theory that creates back pressure, and in theory that's bad for your pump, but I don't know. So I'd be inclined, if I don't have a bypass valve and I don't have a buffer tank and I've got one of the cheaper machines, I'd be inclined to turn the machine off if I was going to stop to clean up, and then turn it back on. Yes, mate, I did respond about the Nuclear Pro on the roof. It will give you, if you're going to pressure wash it, Nuclear Pro, it will give you instant results, but it won't last. So I'd recommend Biocide instead. That's the short answer. Just got a pressure washer today, lad. Need to put it together and I'm good to go. Jake, that's good to hear, man. Good luck on your journey. Hope my question makes sense. English is not my native language. Your question makes perfect sense. Videos have been very helpful as well. Oh, thank you, I appreciate it. What square meter does a 25 litre cover at 4:1 ratio? Oh, now you're asking. It should tell you. Let's have a look. Let's have a look together. Pure Seal are normally good with this sort of stuff. They'll tell you. This one doesn't tell you. It says ratio of 1 to 5, or you can go lower. Leave it to dwell for 30 to 40 minutes and rinse thoroughly. Let me see if I can give you an example of one of my jobs. So I did one the other day. This one. Oh, get off. So this one, to the size of this patio, can't remember the exact size, but it's a fairly decent sized patio, slight path down the side here, and then a path going down towards the gate over here as well. And this took here, where I'm brushing the hypo on here, that was about 18 litres. I think I did I think I did 14 or 15 litres of water with about 3 or 4 litres of hypo plus a bit of surfactant, and that covered the patio and all the paths and all the wall tops. And then I still had some spare, so I just sort of went over it again and just used the last of what was in the tub. So this, in theory, this one, you can see the path there now. This one took less than 18 litres of water, or 18 litres of diluted mix. And that's a decent sized patio. Hi David, you're right. Is the surfactant worth using over just regular washing up liquid? I would say so. I mean, I've never used regular washing up liquid, so I can't give you a proper educated response. But the gloopiness of this surfactant, this is so gloopy. It is live now, yeah. That's why I said hi David. If it's pre-recorded, you think I'd have said hi David? I'm joking. The gloopiness of this product here, as soon as you add, I can't pour this into my tub, into my backpack, and then put the tap on, because it will instantly foam and pour out the top, even if the backpack's only a quarter full. I have to fill the tank with water and hypo first, and then add the Pure Surf Boost into the top, close the lid and shake it, because I'll be there forever trying. Like, if I put that in first and it all overflows out the top, it's just insane. Like, it's so foamy and gloopy, and you don't get I can't imagine you'll get that sort of dwell time where it'll stick to a surface for that long. I can't imagine it'll be anywhere near as good if you was to use like washing up liquid. This live stream is filled with awesome info. Thank you, very useful. I don't remember what you asked, but you're very welcome. I'm glad you're finding all of this useful. Gavin, no problem. Do my best to answer these questions. Am I a professional? This is a question I've been asking myself. I see people on Facebook saying about, professional pressure washing service, At what point do you become a professional? Yes, I've been on training courses. Yes, I've been doing it full time for over a year. I guess you could say I've got professional standard equipment. At what point would you guys, what would you consider a professional? To some people, it's 10,000 hours. When you get to the 10,000 hour mark of any discipline, then you become a professional. So I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't consider myself a professional, so I'm glad that you guys are getting some sort of benefit from my videos, my live stream. I'm grateful that you guys have stuck around for so long as well. There's quite a few of you here, and you have been for almost 3 hours now, so thanks for asking the questions and thanks for engaging, because if you weren't asking questions, I'd have nothing to talk about. I'd be sat here staring at my screen thinking, why does no one love me? Why does no one want to talk to me? Yes, I do scrape and biocide, mate, but looking for a more instant visual result, so I was thinking maybe apply after the scrape and hose off. You could, if your scraping is good enough, and if the surface underneath is clean enough, if it's the right surface, then I would say yes, hypo would give you good instant results. For example, the one I did the other day, I did a roof scrape. I don't often do roofs, but I did this one the other day. So this one, are these clay tiles? I think they're clay tiles. I don't even know. I don't do many of these. Very mossy. I gave it a good scrape, and then as I was biociding it, I noticed that the tiles were looking very, very clean. And you compare that to that, and you think, God, if I'd have used, see all these black areas here, I know for a fact, based on my experience with using sodium hypochlorite in the past, I know for a fact I could have cleared all these black spots with just one low ratio hypo application, and that roof would have looked new at the point where I was leaving the property, so the customer would have been super satisfied, everything would have been great. But I feel like that moss will come back fairly quickly in comparison to if I'd have used hypo, which is what I did. God, this camera, bear with me. What I'm saying is, yes, hypo would have given me good instant results, but I think I made the right choice in using the biocide. What do you think? What would you say? I could have done both. I could have done hypo first, got rid of the black spots, and then rinsed it off, and then done biocide. The problem was I didn't notice that the tiles looked this good until I applied the biocide. So I thought, right, I'm going to scrape it, I'm going to biocide it. I already made my mind up before I'd even got to the property. And I quoted this remotely as well. I quoted this from pictures. This is my son's, that's not my son, that's my son's friend, but this is my son's new stick insects. How cool are they? Actually really cool pets. And these are some of the jobs. So if you look at this, this is just hypo. This is like a 4-to-1 with surfactant mix of hypo sprayed onto this wall, barely brushed it in, and that's the difference. Let it dwell for like 10 minutes and then rinsed it off. The customer's well happy with this. So that's the sort of results you can get with no pressure whatsoever. That wasn't pressure washed at all. So if you imagine that on those roof tiles, they'd have looked brand new. Yep, you are a pro. You seem to have the knowledge and the work ethic. Oh, thanks, Nasty. You nasty boy. Thanks, man. I'm trying. Saturday, gonna use hypo for the first time. Quite nervous, I have to admit. Anyone else had the same when they first started with chemicals? Any tips for a newbie? You should be nervous, and that's a good thing. It means you're conscientious. If you're not nervous, you're gonna make errors and oversights. It's nasty stuff. I had a very scary moment the other day where I was pouring. I had my gloves on, I had my waterproof jacket all the way up to the wrists, so, and I had my waterproofs on, so I was fine. I was pouring and I was leaning over. It was a full barrel of hypo, and those of you that have experienced using hypo before, you'll know that a full barrel is a lot more difficult to maneuver than a half empty one. And as soon as you start pouring, it's like having a full jerry can of fuel. It's very difficult to get that first bit out without sloshing it around everywhere and glugging it and it's splashing and stuff. So I was trying to pour it into my measuring jug and it glugged, and I think I panicked and like pulled back a little bit, and as I pulled back it glugged up into my face. Neat hypo, and it went up my nose, and it went on my cheek, just under my eye, and I had a panic attack, and I literally shouted. Luckily the customer was in the house, because I literally shouted, no, and I ran to the tap that was down. Luckily it was quite close, it was down the side of the house. I ran to the tap, pulled my hose pipe off, and splashed water into my face. I was, you know when you go, I was blowing everything out my nose, and I kept flushing water into my face over and over and over again, because I have a feeling that if you get hypo on you, I don't know whether it's initially bad if it gets on your skin, but I think when it reacts with water or sweat, that's when the chemical reaction happens, I think. I don't know. So I was sat there soaking wet, my hair was dripping, and I was just waiting to feel a burning sensation in my nose. And I did feel something, and I could smell it. I could smell the hypo, but it didn't start burning me. And so I just kept washing out my nose and kept putting water all over my cheek, and I was fine. But the panic, oh my god, the panic. If I hadn't have had the tap there, and if I hadn't have got to it so quickly, I don't know what would have happened. I've seen people where they've had like these people are crazy that actually wear the gardener backpack on their back. You know, the chemical the backpack that I'm using. I put it on the floor because it's heavy. You've got 20 litres of water in this backpack. There's no way you're hoofing that around on your back with you. But these people do, and they use hypo in them on their back, and then it leaks, and then you get chemical burns all over your back. And I've seen it. I've seen pictures of it. It happens all the time. And that would be so scary. As soon as you feel that sensation, that would be terrifying. I always think, am I being too risky here? Am I being silly? So I do take precautions. I'm not as PPE'd out of my mind as I could be. You've got to balance what's practical and what's safe, and you could really up the safety aspect and spend a lot more time making sure that you're safe. You got to weigh up whether it's necessary or not, but you should be nervous about using hypo because it's nasty stuff. Keep it well away from your eyes. As you're pouring it, keep your face away, and make sure you're wearing gloves. Make sure your arms are covered. As if you're going to spray it, make sure you're downwind from it, so it's not blowing back into your face. I've had that before. And again, I had to run to the tap and just wash my face. I didn't feel anything, but I know the stuff I was spraying blew back in my face all of a sudden. But only very fine mist of it, but I didn't want to take any chances. Close call, glad you're okay. Scary stuff. It is scary, and I don't know what these chemicals are going to do to me. When you get, even if you've got training, when you read labels of stuff, even if you've read the label and you've had training, you don't know what it's going to do in what dilution ratio, and the weather, the heat, all the stuff will change the way this stuff reacts with you. I'm terrified of using brick acid. I tried brick acid on these white areas of these bricks, and it didn't do anything. It didn't do what I wanted it to do, which I was really disappointed about. But brick acid terrifies me, because you put that onto some blocks on the floor, and it fizzes and bubbles and it stinks, and it's that seems like super dangerous stuff. That does. You get a bit of that, like hydrochloric acid, isn't it? Get a bit of that in your skin, and it'll just burn straight through your skin down to the bone. It's how are we allowed to use this stuff on a daily basis? How is anyone above the age of 18 allowed to just go into a Travis Perkins and buy brick acid? It just seems mad, doesn't it? Fairly new to the hypo, so I wanted to pick your brains. Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, just be careful with it. Just be mindful. It's great stuff. I use it almost every day. And if you're not using it, it's you're either not getting, you've either got some magical equipment that gets rid of black spots, or you're not achieving the best result you can for your customer. Because I don't believe anyone just using cold water on a patio with black spots, I don't believe that anyone can achieve a good enough result using just cold water. Maybe you can use steam and hot water, and that will clear those black spots, but without the use of chemicals, I don't think the customer's getting the best value for money they can get. Give it some respect. Exactly. See, this one was a tough one. I had 2 of these horrible jobs in a row in Birmingham the other day, and the weeds and stuff, it was only a tiny patio, no drainage. Again, it makes the job 10 times more difficult, because it was just creating puddles over in this corner here, and the water wasn't going anywhere. It was just sitting there. And so you've just cleaned the patio, and then you're getting dirty water coming back out the borders and drying on your nice clean patio. And to be honest, I told the lady I wasn't happy with this. I did 2 applications of hypo. This was absolutely covered in black spots everywhere, and I got most of them up, but I just couldn't get these ones in the middle. They were so big and so tough, and these stones, these slabs, are so porous, and every time I've cleaned these slabs in the past, they've just looked rubbish. The amount of black spots that seem to get ingrained in these slabs, I'm sure if I'd have put biocide down and come back in 2 months, they might be gone. But I just said, look, this is not my normal result. It's a mixture of no drainage and the type of slab that you've got there. It's just made it very difficult. So, but she was happy. She said, I didn't even know they were that colour. Nice little before and after. And then the next one I went to was this. Basically a garden, a lawn coming through the slabs. And I spent most of the time, probably the first 45 minutes just digging and scraping with a shovel all of these weeds and all of the grass out from between the joints before I even got the pressure washer out. But the results were fantastic, I think. So with concrete like this, generally if you're going to use a turbo nozzle and go in lines like this, you can end up... I needed to use the turbo nozzle because I needed to get all the weeds out from between the joints that I couldn't get out by hand. You'll end up with lines where the black spots, you do multiple passes over the same area, going back and forward in lines, and you'll be able to see those streaks when it's dry, and so you'll want to do like a good strong chemical treatment on this afterwards to get rid of any black spots and streaking. I don't know what I've just done. It was bad. And again, the drainage was terrible. The drainage went into the neighbour's drive. And the neighbour came out and said, I've just had that drain unblocked. I said, it's fine. Honestly, don't worry. I will make sure it's free flowing. I'll make sure everything's tidy before I leave. And I'll come and knock on your door to make sure you're happy before I'm gone. And he went, okay. Good strong chemical treatment to try and make sure those weeds don't come back anytime soon, but that was a very tough one. Right guys, it has been 3 hours and 8 minutes, and I think I'm going to call it there because I'm getting so hot in here and I feel so self-conscious that if I open the window everyone's going to be able to hear me talking. I've really enjoyed myself. I've enjoyed talking to you lot. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for all the questions and chatting to me and stuff, occupying me. And next video is out on Monday, 5:30 on Monday. Big video, 20 odd minute video. We do a roof clean, we do a patio clean, we clean a trampoline, some play equipment, some decking, some tarmac, big tarmac drive, all in one video. So have a look at that. Thanks for the stream. No worries. Thank you for watching. Glad you did this. I hope your future jobs go okay. Thank you, man. Thank you guys for the questions. Good night, buddy. Look forward to the next one. Thanks for all the info. No worries. I feel privileged that I'm able to answer some of these questions. It's been great. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm grateful that I've got the opportunity to share my limited knowledge with you. Watch my videos, subscribe, do all that stuff, and that's the best way to support me if you enjoy what I do. See you in a bit.